Hello, everyone. Welcome to the trip. We'll get going in a bit, but before that, check it out. A little bit long intro, but that's all right.
This is DWTT coming to you from the Emirates.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. I see you got some early arrivals. Got Moss from across the pond joined early. I know I sent you the link and all of that. I think you're looking for Ray's channel, Arsenal Fan Circle. So Nightman Nemeth is in early. I hope he's still around. And yeah, cool, no problem. Yeah, it's a bit hot over here as well. I've been indoors all day. I think I might have stepped outside to bring the garbage cans close back to the house, but otherwise been inside and it's still hot in here because it's been, yeah, we don't have that central air like some houses do. So it's an old house. So it's it's a bit hot here. So welcome to the show. Uh, I believe I'm going to have some hosts with me, but if not, we'll get moving on. BX Gunner's in the house. Welcome to the show, BX Gunner. And I don't know if you guys saw. I guess the first match day one of the Premier League is officially over now. Manchester United welcomed Wolves, who, in my case, I assumed Wolves would struggle this season. But what I saw today, they looked pretty good. And I guess the key is, can they maintain that kind of form throughout the season? And I think that's the thing. When you can start off like you do, but you got to be able to maintain it. And as the season wears on, those legs get heavy. And if you don't have the same answers on the bench, eventually those starting legs start to wane, and they don't even start the same way they did. So, but they played really well. They should have gotten the win. A lot of controversy on a goalkeeper, on the goalkeeper Onana. He actually had a good game, but made a goalkeeper move, which from what what everybody's seen, they don't call it. Goalkeeper comes out, misses the ball, does clash into a couple of players, and nothing's called. I mean, everybody wanted a call. It's for me, it's almost dangerous play from where he came from. If you're not allowed to just jump straight up in the air and not get clouded by a goalkeeper who's coming in all the way off the line, what's going on here? So that's, what was interesting is when I saw it, first thing that came to my mind, but I couldn't remember which goalkeeper it was. It was Tim Howard. Tim Howard, it was, when he was still in the Premier League, did a similar thing. I mean, he came from very far away, came in, tried to clear the ball, and clattered into an attacker. Nothing given. Given the goalkeepers, all the love in the world. Essentially, they can do whatever they want in there, but you can't touch them. So it doesn't make any sense. If he goes in there and can clatter into players like that, and you just bump him a little bit, what's going on there? So, Big said hello to everyone. Yeah, he says he hates Central Air. Give me a window and a fan any day. Yeah. Well, dude. I don't know. Central Air. I don't. I guess I do like it when it's cold. So I would take it. Get Anders is joining. Sam has joined us as well, and I got somebody in the back room. Even look at that. Why not's in the house? So this is going to be fun. This will be fun. Yeah, Cronky out. You Cronky out still? Yeah, we got. Let's join. My buddy has joined me, Mr. Tom. How are you doing?
Where is everyone?
What do you mean? Where's everyone? It's just you and
I
me right
thought,
now. I was told that everybody was coming. We might have a late arrival, but that's an additional guest. But I was told that everybody would be joining us. I know Mr. Tony did leave a message saying that let's our thoughts with Tony. He said he's not feeling so well. He's been in and out of struggling with his health and feeling good about how things are going. So yeah, so thoughts are with him. Hopefully he can feel better and get back. I did see him on the wrestling show last night. So he comes and goes. So when he can do it, he'll do it.
Tony knows his favourite show to go on. I mean,
Well,
sorry,
you know what? I didn't want to say it, but you know what? The fact that you are his buddy now, I get it. I get it. Used to be me and Tony doing the show a lot back in the days early, when we, and now he found a new buddy, I just don't have that,
he
that
should have
back
tapped
there.
into his secret love.
I guess so. I thought it was football. I thought it was sports. Turns out, no, it's some guys dressed in tights running around slapping each other in the butt. I mean, sorry, wrestling.
Meaty men slapping meat.
So yeah, Sam's happy to see you. Why not? He's ready to go. He's been saving up whatever he's got. So
get your battle stations, please.
Yeah.
Hello, why not?
Why
Hello,
not?
Mr. Greenwood. Hello, Anders. Hello, BX. Yeah, BX. Yeah, of course he is.
True. Did you get a chance to watch the game this evening, or?
I was working, and I was able to watch it. I watched more the second half than the first half, admittedly. Basically, in my opinion, I'm not an expert. In my opinion, the match played out as in Wolves missed so many chances that with every chance they missed, factually it was 23 shots on goal, and with every one, I just sat there, I shook my head slightly, and basically thought, this has got classic Manchester United 1-0 written all over it.
Very much.
Because Man United are going to go down the other end, and they're not going to miss 23 shots.
Mm-hmm.
They'll get one, and they'll score it. I know they have more than one, but that's what happens.
No, you're correct, and that's kind of what you. And you know what? That's the difference with. That's the difference with those, the teams at the bottom of the table that, you look back and they're struggling. Why are you struggling? And, this is a game. This is, you gotta, when those opportunities come, you gotta take them. I always talk about DWTT and what it stands for. And that was an opportunity for them to take advantage. They were the most dominant team in that game. I mean, whenever they decided to attack, United had no answers for it. The trick was, I think they waited too long to pull the trigger sometimes. They should have just taken a damn shot. They gave United enough time to get settled in and blocked, I think, 7 of those 23, I think, were blocked. So, no.
I need to see them in a second game against a team, let's say, not of I don't want to say this, but not of Man United's calibre. Let's say, like a middling Premier League club. See how they get on. Who's their next game, Wolves, for example?
Let's see. Let's take a look and see who they play next. But no, I agree with you. They need to.
Brighton. They play Brighton at home.
So that's not going to be any easier. It's going to be, it's going to probably be a little bit worse because I think Brighton is playing actually pretty good to start the season. After their first game, I think they won 4-1 or something like that. So the fact that United did not look so good today probably doesn't bode well, even though they are home. I think Brighton is setting themselves up to have a good season as well. Looks like we've got jokes coming in already. So let's see. Do you know how?
Gary,
yes,
do
sir.
you know how Pinocchio set fire to himself?
We'll find out in a second when Sam tells us. But yeah, this is Krixnix. Welcome to the show. He agrees a little bit. Grown men in speedos play fighting. That's what wrestling is. So there you go. Yeah, yeah. You know what's interesting?
It's not wrong.
It's the second, the first and the last game of this season. One of the telling signs of it is kind of what Sam brought up, lacking a striker. I don't know about, they created a lot and got robbed. Yeah, shocking VAR as always. I think if you follow the goalkeeper, they can do that. They do that all the time.
I'm going to tell you something, Gary, that happened in last year's opening game of the season. Leeds played Wolves, and there was when Wolves were I believe Wolves were 1-0 up.
Sorry,
at the
except
time.
Wolves. Except Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves were 1-0 up. We whipped across into the box, and the Wolves goalkeeper punched the Leeds right back. They went up for the ball, and he punched him. He didn't. He missed the ball and got Christensen square in the face. Now, in hindsight, I'm more upset that he didn't punch him harder. But point is, goalkeeper didn't get sent off. Leeds didn't get a penalty. But tonight, all the Wolves fans are crying foul.
Yeah. You cry when it's against you. You know that. You know how that works. I don't even know if I can put up Sam's answer. I don't know.
We went on to win that game, but it's not.
Yeah. United didn't look like they were going to score. No, they did not look like they were going to score. The fact that's why set pieces.
That's why I thought they'd win, though.
That's why I think it was on a set piece, right? Because Varane would never be in the box like that after the ball goes outside of the 18, unless it was on a free kick or something, right? So I think it was a free kick or a corner or something like a set piece, though, for sure. I doubt you put your center back. Yeah.
You sit there and say they didn't look like they were going to score. Like, I'm not disputing that. Obviously, Wolves were on top. But my point initially was because of how much Wolves spurned chances,
yes,
you knew Man United only needed one. It was going to be a goal.
And
that's why the top. And it's not just money. But that's sort of the way football turns is why the Big Six are the Big Six. Because they win games 1-0 where they only have one shot on goal.
And you know what's and it's funny you say that is because when Leeds returned back to the Premier League, they probably could have beaten Liverpool the way they were playing that game. I mean, it was a high scoring game. I think they lost. You lost 4-3 or something like that.
Yeah. In
No.
hindsight,
But that was the game. That is a game that you look back at the end of the season and go, we probably need to win that one because that was the one time we could surprise someone. First game of the season back in the Premier League, you're flying. I mean, you did that to a lot of people, but
we did score 3 goals though, to be fair.
No, I know, but you want to win that when you score 3 against Liverpool, right? When you score 3 against a Big Six, you want to get points from it, right?
Yeah. No, obviously I get what you're saying, but my real thoughts at the time. The game in England, the game was the 5:15 kickoff or 5:30 kickoff. Mm-hmm. So basically, all afternoon at work, I'm sat there and basically I'm thinking to myself, "God, we don't lose 7-0 today." God, when we scored after 10 minutes or something, we were never winning at any point. It was always 1-0, 1-1, 2-1, blah blah blah. But I was just more shocked that we weren't getting embarrassed.
Very true.
Because especially with our defending becoming what it did, I mean that really was a sign of things to come. Let's be fair, but because you'll find it, you wouldn't know this, but in the Championship, when we got promoted, we were really good at defending with Ben White at centre back. We were really good in defence, and then it changed quickly.
Cool. Well, let's get to this joke. So here it is. You read the joke already.
We did beat Man City, though.
And here's the answer for those who didn't know. But he learned how to.
Yeah.
So supposedly it's nothing dirty. Supposedly it's nothing dirty. So, but I did put it up there.
It's science and physics.
Tom has that long-term memory. He does. Well, welcome. I think I said hi to Ray Moss earlier. I don't know if you were in, but they got a wee bit lucky. Yes, they did. But you know what? You got to put your shots away. Ray has joined us, the Big Six of the Big Six, because players always want to play for the teams they supported growing up. That's partly true. I mean, not everybody lives in the
It's funny.
big six cities,
It's,
right?
it's
So
funny Ray says that, but I remember this time last summer they use. I say use. There are a contingent of Arsenal supporters that I happen to know that was sat again. Of course, Rafinha's going to want to come to us. Of course, he is. I'm not. Why would he? He probably grew up supporting Barcelona because that's what players in South America grow up supporting Real Madrid or Barcelona. They don't grow up supporting Arsenal or Chelsea or Tottenham. No one grows up supporting Tottenham. That's not a thing. But so like I was like, no, he's only going there. But he was all like, Arsenal, of course he'll want to play for us. I was like, no,
yeah. Now when
he
I
only want to go one place. One place.
when a player brings up a big club, that's been been successful of late. Arsenal's usually in trouble because that's usually where you want to go. So yeah. Let's see. So all those players always want. Nobody want to go. None of those players. You know what was interesting? Did you see the video from Casado with him and his mom in the back of in the hatchback? They're sitting in the hatchback of the car when he was younger, wearing the Chelsea jersey.
Oh, hang on.
And then they showed him, and then they showed it. The new one after he signed. So yes and no.
Oh, that's interesting. I was about to say, but even before Sam typed that, I was about to say, players that were 10 years old when Abramovich bought Chelsea, you're now going to start seeing that, like, I was a boyhood Chelsea fan, which has always sounded absurd. But we're now getting to an age where there will be people that grew up supporting Chelsea.
Yeah,
Like,
and if you think the Big Six is the Big Six, then that's exactly why, right? Like you said. I mean, definitely the paycheck, but I've heard they're not getting paid like buku bucks. They're just getting long-term deals. So I don't. I didn't. I think I heard the biggest they're getting is maybe 150. Those long-term deals. Not everybody's getting like the 200 that you're thinking of. But they are getting paid for 7 years, and in the case of Casado, I think it's an 8th year. So,
yeah, but he's getting more than he'd get at Brighton.
No, I know, but like if you got a 4 or 5 year contract, you almost double that the next contract you get.
I get that, Gary.
So yeah, it's a short versus long term kind of thought process, right?
He's probably got an 8-year contract. I don't know if that's true, but Mudrik's on an 8-year contract, isn't he? So can't think that. Yeah, but then like he's gone from a Brighton contract to a Chelsea contract. But then even if it don't work out for him at Chelsea, he can then always go back to another team and get slightly more than his Brighton contract at worst.
Yeah.
So he's set. I mean, you're pretty much set for life, even if you've played in the Premier League for a year. But
yeah, you should be. You should be. Yeah. Only 2 players ever wanted Chelsea. That's Mount and Reece James. Yeah. There you go. It's the nouveau rich club. So they definitely pay more. I like I said, I don't. I think Casado was partly who's willing to spend 15 on the player. Then it was the salary at that point. I think if Arsenal had come in there and put 100 in, he might have said the same thing.
There's an episode of The Simpsons where there's a quick gag where basically a guy who runs, like those hot dog stands. He's got a mobile hot dog stand, and he just turns up everywhere Homer Simpson is. At a funeral, at the cinema, and Marge turns around to him and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" kind of thing. He's like, "Your husband is putting my kids through college." That is Brighton with Chelsea. Because Chelsea are funding Brighton to an absurd level.
True. I mean, to some degree they are funding West Ham teams are funding West Ham as well, because West Ham has sold they may sell Paqueta, however you say his name.
Yeah, but that's the two clubs, though, isn't it? It's just Chelsea.
No, I know, but I'm saying like West Ham will accumulate over almost 200 mil in one window, right? And are they going to spend it all? Maybe not. we got it. Oh, look at this. What is this? Yeah, he was talking about that. But Des the Destroyer has joined us. Yeah, we haven't got into this yet, but yeah. Evening, Gary.
Oh, that's
Mr. Tom,
awful.
question. Timber gets injured. First PL Premier League game could be out for months. Does that mean the Dutch league is soft compared to the APL quick recovery? Timber, my answer to that is no. I mean, if you look at the challenge that he put in that first half, I know some people have actually said, guess what? It wasn't that knee that he injured. Well, for me, being that I have lost an ACL, I know ACLs go, they go. So it's nothing like, well, it's here. It's it's something you can sometimes see. But also, I believe that when he did injure himself in the first half, if it wasn't the same knee, he compromised his knee. And you know what your body does, and you know what your mind does. It overcompensates for whatever's going on in that compromised knee, and that puts the other knee at in danger. That's what I believe. Like, there's two ways to look at it. Either it was going to go because he wasn't doing anything. He was just kind of moving back and went to defend as you do as a defender. Stretched a little bit and boom, next thing you know he's down. I did the same thing. I was running. I was jogging back. I was running backwards on defense in a basketball game, and the next thing you know, I felt like my leg. Somebody just like I'm sorry to say this, Mr. Tony, but it sounded like they chopped my leg off and I just fell down. And everybody's like, what happened? I was like, I don't know. I just was just jogging. I was saying, no, I just couldn't feel my leg anymore. Tore my ACL. So that's kind of what I think happened there. So I think when he got injured the first time, I think they should have pulled him because at that point, I didn't want to risk. I wouldn't have wanted to risk it. And also, you had Gabriel Margalef sitting there, easy way to bring him in the second half, and see out the game because obviously he could play. All right, so that's what I would have wanted them to do. I know they tested his knee and it probably looked all good, but I have a feeling they didn't test the knee that hurt, the one that was hurt. So I think it was just it's just not good luck. That's all. And it sounds like he is not the first player with an ACL issue in the preseason, coming into this season. So, Mr. Tom, what say you?
What I find is that's probably an isolated incident, but there is an exponential increase in the amount of ACL injuries across the board, both genders, all across football. But I think that's a symptom of the increased emphasis on running in football. I know it's always been a thing, but you're getting players coming from climates and leagues where the emphasis is more on technical ability rather than the mix of speed and technical ability, whereas the Premier League is so vastly unique in its emphasis on you have to run 100% at all times for the entire time, because if you don't, then the other guy is going to run 100% and you will get caught out.
True.
And it naturally is going to lead to these sort of injuries.
True. No, I think. Oh, you know what the stat was? The stat was that 6 players that all went to the U.S. as part of the preseason tour had ACLs, and I, to some degree, wouldn't be surprised because of the turf that they used. And you know what? It's real expensive for teams to do that. I mean, if you're gonna play in the United States, they need to play in a proper turf. That should never come up. Like, you've got, yes, it's a marketing thing, but those players getting injured just in glorified practices is not the way you want to do it. And who knows if that's it could be tied to the turf itself. So yeah, that's kind of what I think. And you heard Mr. Tom's say on that. Yeah.
You
So
heard.
yeah, Ming. Yeah, that's right. KDB and Ming's also injured. Benduia too. So I mean, a lot of big name players getting hurt. I mean, luckily for us, Timber is one of our better players, but he would have been people probably think he would be in the future. So we'll see if he gets there. Yeah, Tom's Simpsons references are undefeated. He knows how to tie them in for anything. Give him a topic, he probably can tell you a Simpsons scene where you know what.
Only from 1989 to 1999 though.
No,
I
so
don't know
only for
about the other. I don't.
only
Yeah,
for
I don't
10
know about
years.
the other 25 years of it. No,
For just 10 years, he's got it.
I've not seen more episodes of The Simpsons than I actually have seen. That's how long it's been going. But those 10 years I have seen, I've seen about 6,000 times.
Yeah. I just think it's just an injury, and a lot of people. I think I've heard people saying I thought maybe Matt would be joining us today. I remember him talking about. I believe he was talking about Jesus and his injury, and for me, I know that having an ACL, scar tissue buildup after an ACL is a thing, and you always have to go in and get it scoped and cleaned up. It's just the nature of the injury, the nature of the surgery. So if that's what they did to him, then I think it's just the norm. It just happens. Players after have that surgery, they play well for a while, and then guess what happens? It starts the legs, your knees tightens up, and it's because of that scar tissue buildup. Go in there, they clean it up, and usually they're okay after that. But always seems to happen.
Yeah.
See, yeah, Sam's got a. I guess we're gonna move along here. It looks like the timber is made out of wood. Oh, stop it, Chris Nix. Stop it. And yeah, nobody's liking your joke there. Yeah, so let's see here. Yeah, you know what? That's the other thing. There is time. If they wanted to bring up another player, there is time, right?
This transfer window. Do you know how long this transfer window has lasted? I'll tell you how long it feels it lasted, Gary. It feels like this transfer window's lasted for 50 goddamn years. Because it feels like every 5 minutes I'm like, oh, we've lost another player for no money.
Yeah. Now, no, you were correct, and it's crazy what's going on. I mean, you know what? What's funny, and what's funny is it's not Arsenal. Everything that's happened to Arsenal, it's it's like somebody's like, hold my beer. I think we can do worse than that. Right? Think about it. Everything that Arsenal got, everything that we got, we got taken to the memes and all of that. Everything. Teams now are going through the exact same thing. Oh, you got hijacked by Chelsea. Well, guess what? Liverpool got hijacked by Chelsea. Oh, you're going to spend 100 mil on a player that's probably not worth 100 mil. Guess what? Both Liverpool and Chelsea bid on a player for over 100 mil. And then Chelsea doubles down and says, guess what? We're going to take option 2 as well. Not only are we going to go for option 1, we're going to take option 2. So Liverpool, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on both.
Did option 2?
Yeah, that's just crazy, right? Like, and as Sam says here, I'll go on a limb and predict FFP laws don't hold up in a high court process with expert lawyers defending the accused. The laws are likely easy to put holes in. The rich always win. That is, it's just basically tax law. That's all it is. If you think about tax law, why do the rich pay less taxes than the poor?
They're going to argue. I can tell you what they were arguing in court. They're going to argue that it's their responsibility and their risk to win, ultimately, to win the sport.
True.
And if they can afford it, they should be able to spend it. And they're going to argue they can afford it, even though it's obviously meant to prevent what happens in the event of failure. True. But they're just going to say, fuck it, we'll sell our assets.
Very
and
true.
Stuff like that.
Well, Exhibit A this summer, going into this summer, and this is where I think Arsenal was wrong for a bit, not necessarily buying Havertz, but for throwing in the towel and just giving them close to what they wanted immediately. They didn't have to pay for him right away. They could have waited till the end of the month. I think it was the end of July, I think it was. If they had just not rushed to pay, they could sit on it for a while and say, I'm still thinking about it. And, they could have nitpicked with it and give like a $1 or $2 million increase each time or whatever if they wanted to, or just hold back. Either way, they rushed to get it done. For what reason, I don't know. There's no reason to get that deal done that quickly. And so, yeah, I think that's where they went wrong. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just. Sorry.
There's strokes in here that I'm missing.
No, you'll know when you see it.
All right, I know what I see it. So let's continue on down here. Yes, Sel Balogun and Tierney and another defender in mid. That would be, if here once again, I'm going to say the same thing I say every damn time. If you're not going to play the player, sell him. Right? If you're not going to play the player, sell him. What's the point of holding on to a player who's got value and all it's doing is dropping because you're not selling them? Newcastle will probably pay decent money for it. Balogun, they want this 50 mil. I believe 50 isn't a bad deal. I just think if you're selling it to, a team that can't afford it, then you have to either take the money or not. And if you're not, then you're going to play him. So yeah, I would not send. Yeah, I wouldn't have sent him out just because one, it's the first game of the season, and two, you don't know. So Timber has fallen. Moss said it was going to get number 12 third kit. Maybe go Martinelli or Saka. All right. Channel is so positive for Matt.
No, it's saying it's too positive for Matt.
It's too positive. You know what? That's why I actually like having him on, because I like having somebody else's opinion on the other side of the fence, and we can go back and forth. And there's not too many. There's a lot of I guess negative fans, people will call it. Even though I think I'm called negative as well. So I think on my day I can be called negative. And,
you're a lot more positive than you used to be.
But you know what it is?
This time last year,
yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. No, but you know what it is? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
No, because I remember specifically, you'd played Crystal Palace, you'd played quite well.
Yes.
And you won. And then, I hope you don't mind a bit of a peek behind the curtain here, but basically, obviously, you spent that episode basically complaining about the events of the match. And then, obviously, a bit after the show, I was sitting there like, but Gary, you won the match. And I was like, why you?
And what did I say about it?
If I didn't know the result, I would have thought that you lost.
True.
And ultimately, I was like you probably, the way you played, you're probably gonna win more matches than you did the previous season, which turned out to be true.
Yeah.
It's like, what, you're gonna spend all that time being unhappy that the game wasn't perfect, even though you got the points.
True.
And I like to think, on some degree, you took that on board.
Yeah. Well, no, but you know what? There's two parts to this, and I say this all the damn time. I am going to look at that game in a box, and then I should also be able to look at that game as an entirety in terms of the season, how it affects the season. It's 3 points. I want to take the 3 points, but if I'm going to analyze that game and talk about it, I can't just come in and go, we got the 3 points, so yeah, show over. That doesn't make, for me, there's more to it than that. Especially, if Arsenal has a perfect game, I'll be positive the entire show, right? And you've heard me do that. It's like, I really can't find anything to complain about, so why should I? And I won't. And I'll just talk about all the good things and all the good players that were made. But in that particular game that we just saw, there were some negative things that happened, if you want to call it negative, right? I mean, the second half basically wasn't ours to control anymore. We kind of gave that control away, gave up a goal, and then had a little pressure on us at the end. And we are at home, and we have answers on the bench. So for me, those are all little tests that Arteta and the team have to pass, because when you get to the end of the season, a similar thing is going to come up, and you would expect your team to have to do the right thing at that point, right? If you know that you're struggling to defend, maybe you bring on some fresh defenders. It's not everybody's day every game. So if Saka's not having a good day, you pull him, right? If Nketiah's not having a good day, you pull him, right?
He has a good day every day.
No, but you know what I mean, right? If he's not finding his way, then you pull him, and that's what the good coaches do. They don't go, well, you know what, he's been good for me the last 20 games, so I'm going to let him see this one through when it might punish me, when I have an answer on the bench. We talk about depth. Why are we talking about depth if we're not going to use it? So that's my thing. So, and like I said, that game is, and I always say it's like there's levels to it, but it's not necessarily levels. It's more like if I play the same way against such and such team, we're going to be in trouble. And that's the I just got burnt doing these things, so that's why I will seem negative sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Would like to have you, Des, on when you're available. Yeah, Des. Same here, but I know. Oh, Stupid X has joined us. I don't know who the Stupid X, but he was on the Stupid Lolo on Friday, so I'm assuming it's the same guy. He's got a leather mask on, so I don't know.
I have my suspicions, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not going to out Super X. But
yeah, yeah.
Detective Tom will be on the cut. He won't be. I'm too lazy.
True,
But
true. No, Gary. Look at Liverpool. They waited and waited. Now look at them. No, they waited, but I mean, I don't think 50 for Lavia was a big deal, and they didn't want to spend the 50. And even Chelsea kind of like didn't want to spend the 50, and now they're going to pay what 60 or something like ridiculous. So
this is why I have respect for. I'm furious with at Leeds, for example, but it's why I respect Southampton, because Southampton sat there. Liverpool turned around and went, "We're Premier League club. Lavia wants to play for us. We'll give you 46 million for him." And Southampton sat there and went, "No, 150." They went, "No, 46 is the price." And Southampton went, "No, we own the contract. I think you'll find 50 is the price." Liverpool went away, went and paid double for Caicedo, who then went, "Nah, don't fancy it." Then they went back to Southampton and went, "All right, we'll give you a 50." And Lavia went, "No, I'd rather go over there with Caicedo to Chelsea." Tell me
that's
that's not what happened.
what's funny is players want to go sometimes to teams that are at their level, meaning they might be a lot of players at their same age, either some from their international team, whatever, they've crossed paths before, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that team wants Balogun. You know what? Should we sell him? Yeah. I mean, I don't. If we're not going to play him, we should sell him. I just, even if it hurts you, it hurts you, because guess what? You don't want him, and you're just wasting his value. So
If
my
he's not
top
good
10
enough
picks
for
are
Arsenal, why does it matter if he goes to Tottenham?
exactly. If he can't better your team, then go get a player that can, which means he's better than Balogun. All right. If a player is better than Balogun, then he plays for you. So then you've done better. So I think the Stupid X guy. I don't know. I have my suspicions of who that is, but and I think if I recall, Stupid X picked Newcastle to win or something ridiculous like that. There's somebody crazy with Newcastle like winning. I don't know if that was him. If he's out long term, we can't sell Tierney. We can't, but it sounds like we might. But who are we going to bring in? So I think Fresneda is the name that's come up. He's a left. See, the thing is, he's a left wing back. So is that another Nunes Tavares? I don't know. Monaco close to get him. They put down 40, and we're like, nah. So I think it'll get done for 45. So I've come a long way. I don't know. I feel like I might be getting better of how I communicate what I'm thinking, but I still feel like we just won the game, and I still can find things to talk about that aren't positive. So
Totally the opposite. I've got so much worse at communicating what I'm thinking, because when I first started on YouTube, right, it was all like, I'm gonna come out with these like measured, calm observations about what I
yeah,
saw.
yeah.
Dare I say, intelligent stuff. And I've regressed to, who gives a fuck about intelligent insight? I'm sat on the internet at 2 a.m. I want to talk bollocks.
That yeah, and I don't put on my weekend show talking nonsense for nothing. I mean, I have Mr. Nonsense Talker right next to me right now. Right next to me right now. Hey, I don't sit on the fence. I just tell you. Everybody's like, "Are you Arteta in or out?" I'm like, "No, I'm Arsenal in." And they're like, "Oh no, 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 that can't. You can't. You got to be one or the other." Guess what? If Arteta's not good for Arsenal, I want him out. If Arteta's good for Arsenal, he can stay. I really, your leads in. You're not. You're
You
not. Your
you
leads in.
telling yeah, it's true. You telling Arteta you can stay sounded like a threat more than I think you
Well,
meant it
maybe
did.
okay. So my delivery is not good. All right, I get that, but you know what I mean. Like, if it's good for Arsenal, then Arteta stays, right? If Bielsa was bad for Leeds, you wouldn't want him there, right? But Bielsa's good for Leeds.
I've got things to say about Leeds. Don't you worry.
All right, we'll save that for a little
Right,
bit. Let's go. Let's get through all of
right.
these, and then we'll get to
Thesis on Leeds
we'll go off
United.
we'll go off on our tangent talking about whatever nonsense you want to talk about. Yeah. BX, I am your father. Oh, I'm going full Anakin. All right, I missed what's going on. Oh, it's falling back to the dark side. I am not. Come on, stop that. You guys enjoy my chat. All right. Let's see. I don't see you as a negative guy, just honest and passionate. Yeah. Like I said, I can analyze a game in a box, but then I believe I will tell you I'm happy where we are. Let's continue on and just do better next time. And I say that all the time. We have 38 tests. I want to get better 37 times. Each time we play, the next time I want to get a little bit better. Yeah. I believe. Yeah, I think I'm balanced. I believe I'm balanced. Yeah, I did this Super X guy. Hopefully you have subscribed. I don't think I saw it. Let me know if you subscribe, but if you haven't, please do that. And anybody else who's in there, please subscribe to the channel.
Does it help your channel if he has 2 accounts and he subscribes on both?
Does it help you? Does it help if you have 2 channels?
I don't care. You know what? I'm gonna get every device I have, and I'm gonna subscribe to. I'm gonna watch the show. I'm not gonna do that. It's a lie. I'm too lazy, but I should.
No, I appreciate people coming in. I don't care how many channels you got, but yeah, no, I don't. I enjoy the way we chat. I don't think if we were had 1,000 people in the chat, it would be this much fun. I don't believe
it would be the worst. It'd be the worst if you had 1,000 people, because you're bad enough at catching up with the chat when there's 4 people commenting. Imagine if 1,000 people were making comments.
But don't want to talk? Yeah. Dude,
imagine 1,000 people were coming out of the comments. No one to get their stuff read.
No, you're right. No, and then you know what? Even if you have 1,000, you can't read them all anyway. So it's not fun for everybody. I like the fact that people can chat back and forth, but you got to pick and choose sometimes. Tom has an Eddie and Ketty at home handmade puppet that he doesn't always necessarily put. Okay, all right, Sam. You know what? Yeah, that's moving on. I feel like Arteta tinkering cost us more in that victory going into.
No lies detected.
You know what? I don't. I like. You know what? Some say. I'm gonna back Arteta here. So this is me going I guess maybe super positive. If I want to play out this season, right, 50 games potentially is what we should be playing. Then some players are gonna sit for tactical reasons. And the reason why I say tactical in quotes is I've seen KDB not playing games for injuries, concerns, and stuff. But then he'll play the next game. So there's probably going into that Nottingham Forest game. I think Arteta probably thought I don't even have to play Gabriel, who I used up all of his energy last season. Right? He didn't do that for Saka, but he did it for Gabriel. So we potentially did not need Gabriel in that game. Timber stays in. I think we're okay. But if we had scored 3 goals, I think game over. But we didn't do that either. So, yeah. Colonel Ward has joined us, saying, how the devil are we all? I tell you what, I woke up feeling sexy today, but more sexy than Sunday, but not quite as sexy as Saturday. Okay, so the man's getting sexy each day. I don't know where to go with this one.
No, he's going sexy, non-sexy, sexy.
Oh, sorry.
Going backwards in time.
All right. Sorry, I didn't read that correctly.
So tomorrow he won't be very sexy, but then Wednesday he will mysteriously increase in sexiness.
There you go.
That's my understanding of it.
All right, I get that. So now we're starting to see his under the gun instead of with him. Oh, I don't know about that. I don't think so.
You're still one. You're still one.
I don't know about under the gun. You know what? I don't know if under the gun, because if Zinchenko started and we had won 2-1, we wouldn't have said that at all. I don't think so. I think it's a case of Zinchenko doesn't come back, then yeah, we might have a little bit of a struggle. But I believe we're deep enough now to cover this for a bit. Whether or not they decide to get an answer for Timber being out for a while, we'll see. 46 mil plus one. Yeah. Last season, no one spoke about Lavia. Transfer window comes, everybody. I've heard his name. Heard Lavia's name. I didn't hear his name. Last season, I didn't hear his name because when many people talked about Southampton, his name did come up. So I know that.
Nah, everyone knew they were good. They bought him to make a big profit. They just didn't know it had come this soon.
Yeah, no, I know Lavia's name did come up because when you talked about Southampton, it was like, yeah, that's a good player there. And so you know what, yes, you don't know about him until you see him play. I don't know where he was the season before, if he was playing as much. Same thing with Basuma. Was he playing as much? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Basuma hasn't actually set the world alight. 2 years ago, he was going to solve world. Yeah, well, there you go. Basuma, 2 fish, and 5 loaves. There you go. Sexy. You still picking Manchester City #1? Yeah, I see that. All right, Mr. Tom, hit it. You know what, people? So, 2 games, 2 points, I think, for Leeds, if I recall.
No, 1 point.
Oh, 1 point. Oh, did you?
We lost, Gary.
Oh,
Lost.
that's right. Sorry. Damn it. Let's try this again. Can we go back 30 seconds?
Right, so
Leeds, 2 games, 1 point. They had opportunities to win both games, I believe. So tell me about
thank you for being so well researched on the pitfalls of Leeds United. I'll tell you something, right? I'm sick of this team. I hate this team. I'm still gonna be sat there on Friday night when we play West Brom, being like, get on common Leeds, get into them, and all kinds of colourful language. And we've lost Jack Harrison today to Everton on loan because Leeds have a new transfer policy where you give us no money and you get our players. It's great. It's great. I love that. My favourite part of it is that this transfer window is probably going to be the biggest, most financial transfer window ever, with money spent hand over fist. And Leeds have made 3 million on players that we spent 120 million on.
Oh, well, we've taken loss of almost 200 mil. So, I mean, I don't know. I think we're doing worse than you.
Only because you just spent it. You just went, we're gonna pay 100 million for one of the best midfielders in the world and 70 million on a Champions League winner. Whereas we're like, why don't we go out and buy loads of players that have got experience in the Austrian Bundesliga, not even the German Bundesliga, the Austrian Bundesliga, and no Premier League experience, and we're just going to go 20 million for you, 20 million for you, and then it's like, but to convince you to come to because you sure need convincing to come to the Premier League when you're playing in Austria, but we put in little clauses where I'd never heard of this. I've never heard of this in my life, and I've heard a lot of things, but I didn't know it was possible to offer a player that if you get relegated, teams can take you on loan for no money, as long as they pay your wages. And we can't stop it. I've never heard of that in my life. See, I thought it was quite brutal last year when Burnley got relegated, and then they had to sell the goalkeeper, and they had to sell one of their key players. But they were getting they got 20 million for the goalkeeper, and I can't remember who the other key player was. But they lost their best players, and they obviously had to rebuild. But the thing is, they still had 50 million to do it. Whereas our team is being stripped of all its assets for nothing, absolutely nothing. Victor Orta should be shot. Sorry, that's too far. He shouldn't be shot. But they should someone should kick him in the shin or something. Because
I was just thinking about what you said there, and it's basically you have a car, you fill it up with gas. You leave it on, in front of your house with a sign that says, if you want it, you can take it. Just make sure you bring it back. I don't care about if you fill up the gas tank or not. But here you go. And the keys aren't even they're not in the car. They're actually on the note. So you know that, look, there's the keys. So you just take the keys, go inside, take the card, do whatever you want to, bring it back or not. And if you bring it back and it's damaged, I don't care. But if you bring it back and no gas, I don't care. So yeah.
We've lost approximately 8 players off the top of my head. We've lost 8 players to this contract ruling, right?
Yeah.
Which, and it's absurd. We are going to lose Tyler Adams because Bournemouth have triggered the release. Chelsea triggering the release clause alerted every team on earth that there was a release clause.
It's crazy.
And now Bournemouth have paid it. So he's probably off there. But that's the least egregious one, because at least we've got 20 million in the pocket.
True.
Plus, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, I'm pretty sure if Tyler Adams wasn't injured, he'd have been on that bus to play against Birmingham on Saturday, and he'd have gave 100%. I'm pretty sure of that, from what I've seen of him.
Yeah, if you didn't trade him, for sure.
However, that can't be said for about 4 other players at Leeds who have gone on strike. Wilfried Gnonto wouldn't play for us. Apparently, when they were getting on the bus to go to Birmingham, Wilfried Gnonto informed Daniel Farker, I don't want to play.
I thought I've seen now that he does want to play, right?
Well, because he's seen what people now think of him.
Yeah, and you know what?
I'm not being too naive about this, right? I know it's his advisor to his team around him have basically gone, you should refuse to go and force through this move. Like, I'm not naive to think he personally has turned round off his own back and gone, I'm going on strike. Like, I know there are people that are seeing money in him, that are advising him to do that, to get more money. Like, I get that. Yep. And I think it's the sort of thing that in 10 years' time, he will do an interview where he turns around and says, I wish I never did that.
True. You know what's interesting? I'm looking at Transfer Market because, that's what I do sometimes. And, it shows you the ins and outs of the teams. So like Arsenal shows you the ins and outs, and it shows you the expenditures and the sales. For Leeds, because the numbers are so bad, they just talk about market value of the players that are coming in and going. So the players that are arriving at Leeds are worth about 22 million euros. The players who are out are worth 138 million euros. That's how they did it. They did, like, usually they show you the expenditures and kind of what it costs the team. No, they didn't even bother to do that. They said,
well, because we didn't get any money, so you can only speculate what they're worth.
No, you made about 4.9 mil on players that you like that are out playing.
That's Rodrigo. We got £3 million for Rodrigo from Qatar, and even then we were lucky to get that because of his age. Like, no European team was going to pay for Rodrigo.
And he spent like 8 on Ampadu, so there you go.
And that's a good purchase. Like, considering what Chelsea initially wanted for him, we done well to get him for what we got him for. Problem is, he's now surrounded by children.
True. He's how old is he? Isn't he young? No, he's 22. So when you say children, what does he got? 19 and 20 year olds?
No, I'm saying he's now surrounded by younger players because every player on our team is either injured or on strike. So we're having to play other than like Luke Ayling and Liam Cooper's injured, but basic, like, the team's a shambles. The team that the front 4 that played against Birmingham were all out on loan last season. Which tells you a story. It tells you weren't good enough to be here last season, but we're now going to play all 4 of you because we've got no one else. Because Sinistera and Gnonto, who would definitely be playing, are currently on strike.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, no, it's bad information being delivered to the kids for sure. So, yeah, very bad. That's Leeds.
I'm furious at. I can't believe what is happening.
Yeah.
I'm just, and there are people sitting there like, oh, you should be more positive. It's like, we're going to lose another 4 players in next week, and we'll get a 5er if we're lucky.
True. Yeah, that I get players being able to leave. I don't get players being able to leave for nothing.
I've never heard of it, Gary. I've been following football for at least 30 years. Actually, that's a lie. I can't do the math. It's
Yeah,
like 1994, so 29 years, and I've never in my mind or in my life heard of losing players for free on loan. They
sure.
may have to pay a small loan fee. I can't remember that part, but the point is, the teams that are getting the players are doing really well out of it, because Everton ain't got a pot to piss in. Like,
Yeah,
they wanted Willie Nonto for like 19 million, and we said no, because why are we going to say yes? He's on a 5-year, he's 1 year into a 5-year contract that has no release clauses.
sure.
He's the only one that was in a contract with no release clause. Everyone else is.
Weird, weird, weird. All right, that's the lead segment of the show, people. And Mr. Tom can now move on to talk about his first favorite team. So we get back to it here. BX Gunner's talking about Kiwior's chance to break in the starting 11 and make a case. It's not even that he gets a chance. I think we need to play all our players that are worthy of starts in this team. Now, a week off it's even more than a week off. So for me, I just assume play the same. Put Gabriel in there and then go with that. Um, that just moves things around a little bit. Partey, where would Partey move? I guess Partey would he stay in the same spot? He probably could stay in the same spot. I'd rather just go with a back three if you're going to bring, Gabriel in. I don't like having Partey starting out as a right back. I mean, everybody said, guess what? He still moves into the middle. But guess what? If you look at his heat chart, he has a lot more space to cover, and he doesn't spend as much time as he usually does, um, towards the middle of the pitch. He now covers that right-hand side and shifts in it to cover with Declan Rice. But I kind of felt like I really don't want him having to exert himself. And, we talked about this yesterday, and I think Sam backed me up yesterday. I don't know if he'll back me up today, but you play your best players in their best position, especially when you have a really good one. Playing him out of position makes no sense, especially when you cannot get 40 games out of him, and we need to get a large number of games out of him when he's at peak. So yeah, Kiwior, is Crystal Palace. I always hear Crystal Palace is a tough place to play, but what place isn't? Talk about Southampton being a tough place to play, and they got relegated. So make up your mind. Which one is it?
It's one of the biggest lies in football. That
Yeah.
places are tough places to go.
Yeah, I think they're all tough to play on the road because guess what? The fans don't like you, but they like the other team, and you're playing against them. So if you do something silly, they're gonna let you know. If their home team is on a roll, they're gonna let the players know. Some players, live for that stuff. So I kind of feel like, you know what? Yeah, so Kirio, I think should get a chance, but I think he just should get a chance because Arteta, his player management has to just be better, and he has to if he's gonna bring players in, he's gotta play them. So Moss left us for a little bit. His phone died. He's on his laptop now. Thanks for rejoining back up with us. 40 years. I am an
I hope he
oldie.
didn't rush to do that. I hope he went at a very slow and steady pace. Like I wouldn't rush to go and grab a laptop if my phone died to come watch me talk.
I would do that for you.
That's madness. That's That's either madness or you're lying, Gary. It's madness. Come on now.
The problem is for me, I usually have everything charged. Like I'm always like I'm at like 70%. Let me charge it. And I know that's not the good.
Yeah.
That's not the good thing, but that's
I
kind
did
of
that at work today.
yeah. Like if my phone gets to like 20%, I'm like sweating. I'm not used to that at all. Some people are like, oh, I'm at 5%. Let me charge it now, and I'm like, what?
That's Tony. That's Tony Turner you're describing.
Yeah, I'm like, how in the world can you live like that? It's like what is that? Is that Time movie with Justin Timberlake? don't know if you remember it. I forgot what the name of it is.
Yes, where like you have
Yeah.
the amount of it's either years or days, I can't remember.
Yeah, it's
But
like
basically, if it goes
it's
to
like
zero, you die.
yeah, and he's like he's like likes to live with like less than 2 days of time on there. He said that's the best way to live because then you know what the key thing is then you live right. If you know you only got 2 days, you're not going to waste it, right? But if you got like a hundred years worth of time, you're just going to take your time and not really enjoy it.
They should do a sequel to that where you just see him sleeping through half of it because more realistic. You know?
And there you go, people. That's the nonsense that Mr.
Well,
Tom brings.
no, I don't think that's a fair point because, like, that's the reality of that world, though, is that you still have to sleep ostensibly.
Yeah, but if you know
It's
you only
like
got, but
24.
if you only got
Like,
2 days to live, why are you gonna sleep? You're gonna be sleeping in 2 days anyways.
Jack Bauer on 24 would run around asking where the bomb is, but then he'd always mysteriously go to the toilet during the ad break.
The man's got to go, man. Gotta go. You gotta go. I
But
like
he's
Jack
got to
Bauer.
live. He's got to live as well to make sure that we all live. He's got to
Jack,
find. Tell me where the
you know,
bomb is.
I like Jack Bauer. He was the best. Jack
It's the
Bauer is the
best.
best. That's up to 24. That was the best.
He's
Loved
go,
it.
damn it.
Yes. I like Somerville. I thought he would be okay. Nanto looked good too. You know what the thing is? I think the problem for Leeds or the what happened to Leeds just they couldn't keep those players healthy. I think if those players were healthy, you know, or they would have been okay. But you needed them to stay healthy, and I think they waited too long. Think about it. You were in the league for how many years? Were you in the league for 3 or 4 years? 3 years, right? If you would have been able to get like a Nanto in your first year, or Tyler Adams in your first year, and they got another year, and then they were in their third year at the Premier League. Maybe they had been in a year and a half or whatever the case may be. You would have been better suited at that point.
The the real issue is we're just terrible. We were just terrible at business, and it translated to being terrible on the field eventually because it always catches up with you.
Yeah.
Like Lavia is going for 50 million, but we sold Calvin Phillips for 30 or 42, something like that. It's like, but Calvin Phillips established international player, and it
Sure.
was like 40 what? Like terrible.
Yeah, but you know what?
Calvin Phillips
That
is not half the value of Declan Rice.
yeah, but the market is switched on its head this summer. I mean, what player last summer did people say was ridiculously overpriced?
Well, it's because of Saudi Arabian money is
Yeah,
now in
but
the market,
you know what
isn't
I
it?
mean,
Really?
though. But last summer, like, I mean, people thought, oh, you spent 55 on Jesus with a year left. That's crazy, and then you double down and do 105 for Declan Rice with 1 year left. And I guess he had almost. Yeah, I guess he had an option, but you still a 1 year left officially. So yeah, no, I think Zinchenko should be ready. So we should be fine to go there. If we go with a regular back four, then that means we'll see if that means um, Partey or Havertz. Who sits? Who sits? Is that I mean personally I think Partey resting is okay. I don't want it to be like, well, we're resting him because Havertz is our primary player in the midfield that we have to play. That's the problem. Or maybe you sit in Nketiah and you let Havertz go up top so you can play. So we'll see. At least Yankees losing. Yeah, I don't like the Yankees either. When they lose, it's
We should
always good.
do a deadline day stream or something, right? So you could just see me crying live on the internet as we get stripped of even more players.
That'd be cool. Is it on a Monday?
Probably is.
Let's see when is it. Let's see when it is because I know it's supposed to be the end of the month.
It's like the 3rd of September, something like that.
Oh, is it the 3rd of September? No, it can't be the 3rd of September. That's a Sunday. Or maybe it is a Sunday.
But then it's the 4th.
I thought if it's a Monday, it's the 4th. That's a holiday.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
I don't know why doing it. Transfer window.
Yeah, Onana did look good today. He didn't let too much get by him. I think he didn't let much go by him. Let's see. Arteta better hope there's another happy accident where another star emerges. Yeah. Well, you know what? I think Yeah, another star. What star is going to emerge? I mean, Milshire Row
September
we've seen
1st,
before.
Gary.
Oh, September 1st. All right, so
Friday, September 1st.
that's
That's
a
rare.
Friday. That's a Friday. That's
That's
interesting.
it. It's usually always Monday.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
really weird. Why is
Friday.
that
That's
the case?
interesting. That is interesting. So, and is it midnight? Is that when it usually happens? At midnight 11?
I can, apparently it is 11 p.m. Friday in the UK.
Oh, okay,
So
11 p.m. on a Friday. So that's what? That's 6
it
p.m.
actually it always is 11 p.m. because obviously that hour between 11 and 12 is when it actually starts getting revealed, like that paperwork has been filed and stuff like that.
Oh, very true. Very true. Very true. Very true.
So yeah, but
Yeah,
obviously people just assume it's midnight, but it's not.
true, true, true. So yeah, happy accidents. Like for me, the happy accident would be that we get a healthy Milshire Rowe and Nelson, and then they get to play more games. Vieira would be a really happy surprise, but I can't see him just switching it on. Kiwiori, I think Kiwiori already seen, so it'd have to be for me for a happy accident. Like, yeah, I guess it would be Vieira would be the biggest one, right? But I don't, you know, but I think it has to be somebody in the midfield, and I don't think we have that. So we're gonna have to go out and buy. I guess it'll be interesting to see when Raya gets when they officially bring him in, which I find weird that we supposedly have brought him in and they haven't announced it yet. What are they waiting for? Let's bring him in. Let's move on. Yeah, Jack Bauer, gotta love him.
I love 24. It was the
Yeah,
best.
yeah.
I mean, it got a bit weird.
You know what? It got weird. Like any show that goes past like whatever 4 or 5 seasons, they start like just making stuff up, and then they let the actor start doing producing it and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes it works, but a lot of times it's hard to produce and act at the same time. You know. So I kind of feel like just let the painter paint, as they say. You do
It,
your.
it it got to the stage where I was just sitting there, Gary, like after a while, because I didn't watch it from the start.
Mm,
It was like maybe I think like season 6 or something like that. It's when I got all the box sets together. And I'm watching it, and by season 4, I'm like, oh, is it another nuclear bomb? Just like because it was like, cut like I get that these could be real things and stuff like this, but it was a bit like can't you foil another terrorist plot that isn't a nuclear bomb? Like, can't
right.
it? I don't know. And like it was like the amount of torture as well. It was a bit. Just show me Jack running round places. Tell me
Yeah,
where the bomb is,
that's right. Damn it, Chloe.
Chloe. I need the schematic.
Oh my God. Should have kept Calvin. But you needed the 30 mil for whatever. What did you do with that 30 mil? Who knows?
We spent it on transfers, which we then gave them the get out of Leeds free loan card.
There you go. Yeah. It's definitely hyperinflated. You know what? You always want like an auto correction or something like that. But are you going to see a correction in this thing? Because if the Saudi money is putting more money in the table, like think about this. Is it PSG? They just sold Neymar, I think, for like 99 mil,
Something like that. Yeah,
and he's gonna make 150 mil a year.
that's crazy. I'll tell you something that I found amazing. Right, is last year, 2 years ago, PSG lined up with Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe up front.
Yep.
And on Saturday, PSG lined up with Marco Asensio, Lee Kang In, and
Oh,
Goncalo Ramos. Now, I think he scored a hat trick in the World Cup for Portugal, but that's hardly the murderer's row up front compared to what they had before.
very true.
I mean, they might end up winning the Champions League with that. Like, I'm not calling they're going to win the Champions League. I'm just saying it's probably a much less problematic front three to actually deal with.
Yeah.
But just amazing how they went from that front three to having none of them.
Yeah, and they just they had a 0-0 draw.
Yeah, goalless.
So yeah, that wow, and like that's just like wow. And I just I don't get it. Like, uh, yeah, I can't explain what's going on there because did Mbappe know when he signed that contract that he didn't want to be there for another year? You know what I mean?
Oh, breaking news! Breaking news! Reports say that Lizzo forced dancers to gaze at her shoes 5 times a day.
Gaze at her shoes.
Yeah. I
Is
don't know.
is that like a bad thing?
I have no idea.
Okay. Yeah, this summer was the real reefer madness in transfers. Okay. Havertz, Eddie, or Trossard up front? It's a question
I
for
don't even
everyone.
know what a Lizzo is, to be honest.
The singer. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So let's see. Havertz, Eddie, or Trossard. For me, what is our? If I would like to know what's in Kedia's is in Arteta's mind. Like if I need to win a game, what am I doing up top? You know.
playing Eddie.
Yeah.
If you want to win, you play Eddie.
I mean, he put Eddie in all caps, so I'm assuming that's what he's trying to lead us to it. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Trossard deserves to start more than Nketiah does. I don't know what he's supposed to do. Like start. I don't. He might push somebody else to the bench, but he needs to start. And if the best place to start him when Jesus is out is right where Jesus is and play just like Jesus, then why wouldn't you want to do that?
Okay, I'm going to lawyer you all here because I can prove why Eddie should start. How many goals did Trossard score against Nottingham Forest in August?
I don't know.
None, probably. How many goals Eddie scored against Nottingham Forest in August? 1. So play Eddie.
Yeah, I just feel like, but you can get better in the off season, and for me, Trossard has shown that he's better at scoring now than Nketiah is. So when a player shows you, like supposedly Nketiah starts because of the way he practices, I'm like, all right, I get that. But what Trossard, I believe, if you practice the way you play, and I believe that every time he plays, something good happens. He definitely creates goals, and he's scoring goals now. And if you look at Trossard's goals in the preseason versus Eddie's goals in the preseason, I think you go with Trossard. So I don't, like I said, I don't know. I don't know what they're seeing in practice, but Trossard is definitely delivering. So for me, I'd have Trossard up top. I know you spent 70 mil or whatever it is on Havertz, and so you have to play him. I kind of feel like you don't. I mean, if Arteta's learned anything from Pep, you don't. So I would play Trossard up top, not because because I think he's the better player and fits the mold. So yeah, September 1st and predict the table then. Yeah, we can definitely do that. 9 to 10 fans would say Tross only, one out. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what he's supposed to do to get a start. He deserves a start. Yeah, I said that first. Maybe our afternoon, I would think. Yeah, Kyrgios would be a good left back. So that's the other thing. If Zinchenko is not, if Zinchenko is an iffy or a maybe, you go with a healthy player, and that's why you bring in Kyrgios, right? So, yeah, Jack goes silly with the 9 mil. Let's see. I don't know what this is. Donald married a Canadian daughter of Tommy Douglas, Canadian. I don't know what all this is. So Kiefer, Canadian, basically. Oh, okay. PSG getting Dembele and Goncalo Ramos, though. Yep. Yeah, I think PSG might struggle at first, but then I think they will build, and I think I believe they're still pretty good. They got Ugarte in the middle, and they've got Hakimi on the back line. So I think they've got some decent players around there. So maybe their front three needs to gel, but defensively I think they're okay, right? Yeah. Strasbourg, Vieira beat Leon. I don't know what that is. And Pape wanted Soul status at the top. Now he has everything. He has everything he wants, and now he doesn't want to play there. So he actually does not want to be at the top. And I think PSG. I don't know why they thought it would be a good idea to bring in Messi and Neymar. I don't understand why you would do that when you already have what should be the next best player in the world on your team. Why wouldn't you bring on players that could support him and be around for a while with him? You know, no one
Do you
thought
know
Messi or Neymar were going to be around for a while.
the problem for PSG, in my opinion? I'm not necessarily right, but I think this is the case. Part of the reason they are not successful in Europe and Manchester City are finally have been. I know it's the fact is you can both chuck as much money as you want until you eventually win it. But the fact is Man City play more competitively more often. Like their Man City's opposition, it don't look like it like Burnley how they play on week. But generally speaking, the opposition Man City play on a weekly basis is stronger than the opposition PSG play. So if you've got it's like why Celtic and Rangers win every week but then get crushed in Europe is because you're autopiloting and then you
True.
get beat when you actually have to try because you're not used to trying.
True. Now, but you also have to think about it as well as I get the competition, but I also feel like the players are complacent a little bit, and that's why you see that as well. So, and I don't mean like, and that's I think if they had players that are pushing them, right, really pushing them, you're gonna be dying to play. So when you get out there and play, you're gonna be dying to perform, and other
It's
teams
massive complacency.
like they're gonna destroy. Like not that they're not destroying the teams, but they would destroy them when they go into the Champions League. They would be on a roll, right? It's like Bayern Munich doesn't really play too many tough teams in the Bundesliga, but they also do compete in the Champions League, right? They were more competitive, I believe, than PSG if you look at it as a whole. So for me, some of that is the nature. I think it's the culture that they have there and and the managers that they brought in just not have instilled the right culture for those players to go out there and just play up to the level. Because we know that Mbappe, got France over the line basically, and people will say, and even did all he could in the last World Cup to get his team across the line, right?
But you've got
It just it just so happens
oh,
that
God.
you look on the other side and players there showed up along with Messi, and that made a big deal. That made a big difference, right? But Mbappe did all he could. Go ahead. I don't know what you're gonna if you had something to say on that.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just think generally you're right, there's complacency there, but
Mhm.
I just think there's no motivation to always be on your toes because they can sleepwalk to a title. And people say like Man City can do the same thing, but they are pushed more than PSG are. They just are.
True. 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 No, yeah, and but I mean the only way teams that are in the leagues where they are the most dominant, like City is the most dominant in our league, in the Premier League in English football, but like you said, they can get beat on their day, right? I mean Burnley, they may have lost 3-0, but if you watch the game, you realize, look, it wasn't City didn't run away with it. Burnley just can take the advantage of their opportunities. Same thing today. Wolves could have beaten Manchester United, but they didn't take advantage. And on their day, on a different day, they may get those goals in and win 2-1, and people are like, "Wow!" But it's, you know, so yeah, we'll see. Yeah. So if Mbappe back now? Is he going to be playing again, or is he still?
I think I don't know what's going on there. I tried asking them, but they wouldn't return my calls.
Yeah, I think I did see something that said something to their fact they're chatting. It's almost like they're saying they're gonna either throw even more money at him or something, because it sounds like he wants more money, or they think if they
I
give him
wouldn't
more
throw
money,
more money at him.
yeah,
I'd force him to earn the money he's currently getting.
true, true,
You're in your job, Gary.
yeah,
If you suddenly didn't want to do it or got sent home and basically was sat at home for a month, they're not going to give you more money to come back and do the same thing, are they? They're going to want you to come in and earn the money they're already paying you.
yeah. But if I'm making them so much money when I do, then
He's not
then
making
the
them a lot of money though.
No, but I mean that's why he feels like he can do that. And that's why
Mm.
there isn't a big uproar from the team. They
Mm.
haven't just said, "Here you go, we're going to put you in the U19s or something ridiculous like that and have you practice there," because they know that that's not a good look either.
No,
So
of course it's not.
I kind of
But
feel like
he
they can't really punish him. That's the problem. They don't have any control in the situation, and
because they're not football people. They are people that just have a lot of money. They
true,
don't actually know how to run the institution they have bought into.
true. Because I mean, is 150 million is euro release clause too low?
Uh, I would argue it's high for a player with 1 year on his contract.
But Mbappe is the player.
If that was the case, Gary, it would have been triggered.
No, I said no. I don't think they have one. It's the case. I think they can go as high as they
Oh,
want. I thought that's why, like, like if he really wanted to stay and wanted a little bit of control of the situation, then a release clause, put it in, no matter what the number, just put one in. So, but yeah, yeah, yeah,
I bet they're wishing they'd have took the 200 million they were offered 2 years ago.
true that.
It was either last year or 2 years ago.
Who is offering that much?
Real Madrid made a 200 million bid, if I remember rightly,
Crazy.
on deadline day.
And yeah, that sounds like an easy one. An easy one. I mean, because
I think at the time,
yeah,
Gary, PSG, they made a point of saying no because the money, they've got so much money that the 200 million don't really matter. The point I think they wanted to make by turning it down was Real Madrid are no longer top dog in football. Like, your old money isn't worth more than our new money, but we can afford to say no to 200 million for a human being.
yeah. But
Was
it's not.
what essentially happened.
But it's not even that anymore, right? It's all the money in the world
No.
can't get you, can't get it for you, you know. And I just think they did not do the team justice with the managers that they brought in. They needed to get like a really really good manager. They got some good names, but they really needed to get a good manager, right? People. Nobody believes that with all that money and all that resources to bring in the players that they should struggle in the Champions League as much as they do.
Well,
Right.
the thing is, though, is they got to the final in the pandemic year.
Yeah.
So that was obviously their chance in a
Yeah.
one-off game, was that
Yeah.
mini tournament. And
Yeah.
obviously they just happened to fall on the wrong side of a 1-0 game with Bayern Munich. But football might actually be a lot different if they'd won that match.
Yeah, but they have enough money to
No,
to
what I
whatever
mean is it would
to
legitimise what they did.
true. But then they haven't even gotten that close since, right?
No, you're right. But my point is more, it'd be different in the sense that a lot of these players would see their project as somewhere where you can go and win the Champions League.
True.
But it ain't now, is it? Because the players that thought that are now jumping off the ship.
True. Very true. Very, very true. Yeah, we're getting closer, almost like we're like 85 minutes into this thing. Yeah. Moss would go with Tross, but Arteta won't. Eddie scores on Palace and then sell him there. That's another thing. If Eddie performs and you want to sell to get better somehow, why not? Right? We've got let's see, we've got Lonzo's just joined us, but we're starting to hit the end of this trip here, people. Yeah. Stefan's even joined us. Welcome to the show, Stefan. I guess it must be getting early morning to you there.
Start the beginning of Alonso's messages and just go click, click, click. I'm going to do it how he wrote it. So, hello there. Hi, gang. Hi, Mr. Tom and Gary. Hello, Alonso, mate. Hello, everyone. As figs. Yeah, work. Blah. Blah.
Yeah, no, I would go with Trossard, but yeah, I mean, if Nketiah plays and he scores, it's really hard for me to complain. it's hard for me to complain if Nketiah scores. He may be yeah. You know what? It's some say it could be Nketiah, but if Nketiah score like if Nketiah hits 10 goals this season, then Arteta got what he wanted out of him in the Premier League. If Havertz gets 15, 20 contributions, then he's done a good job. So we'll see. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. I'm happy that Nketiah scored because he played and he contributed. But I still feel like we can do better. You know what I mean? Like I'm happy, like I was happy last season. Xhaka played well, but we can still do better, right? So I kind of feel like that's where I'm at with this thing. But we are sitting here. We got about 5 minutes, or we're gonna start heading out of here. It's been a good show. I'll let Mr. Tom. Anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
No, not really. I'm just. I think everyone involved with those contracts that were put in place at Leeds United before this season, pardon my language, Gary, they can go fuck themselves, right? And I hope you never get another job in football because you're a shambles. You've left Leeds United, Ellen Road, looking like a circus, okay, and just unacceptable. Unacceptable. I'm glad you've been run out of town before I could actually chase you out of town. I wouldn't chase them, I'm too lazy. But I'm too fat for that shit. I'm like younger, fitter Leeds fans, sorry, to get this. Arsenal fans can do it too. Right. Football should come together to get rid of its bad actors, all right?
Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Victor Orta's going to get what's coming to him. That's not a threat. Like, I'm not actually going to have him assassinated or anything. Like, again, just kick him in the shin. But no, seriously. Thank you to everyone who turned out for the festivities tonight. It's great to see your this is upset. See, this is upsetting. We're literally like less than 2 weeks into the season, and Stefan's writing, I actually want Leeds to stay up. Oh, I did want Leeds to stay up. I was talking about the Premier League, etc. I thought he was talking about Leeds staying up in the Championship already. It's like we're 2 games in, and you think we're in a relegation battle. We are in a relegation battle. I see that game, Birmingham, right? And I've said this about Willie Nonto, right? Like about him being on strike and stuff, but I will make it clear. I don't blame him for not wanting to go to Birmingham because I've been there and I wouldn't want to get on a bus to Birmingham. So the city, not necessarily for the football match. Anyway. So thank you to everyone for supporting the show. Thank you to everyone for supporting Gary in his endeavours on YouTube.
True.
If you can, do the things, the Holy Trinity, like, share and subscribe. More importantly, tell someone you know that either likes football or nonsense.
To join us. Yeah, you're right about this. And Nketiah needs to be consistent. The one thing he's been doing, which is coming back and supporting the midfield, continue to do that, but he needs to continue to score. And what's wrong with Birmingham?
What's right with it?
Oh, so there you go. See, yeah, and Stan was gonna join us, but we're gonna head out of here now. He actually had work, man. This work gets in the way of all of our fun. So yeah, we will be back next week. It'll be another week. Another, who is you said who are they playing? You said they're playing Birmingham.
No, Leeds play West Brom. We played Birmingham on Saturday.
Okay.
Leeds play West Brom on Friday night, 8 p.m.
West Brom, all right, cool. And of course, Arsenal will be playing Crystal Palace on the road on a Monday night, just before our show. So we'll be ready to go right when that game happens. So I'll hopefully get to watch some of it. I do have work and all that kind of stuff, but yeah. So we'll be back. Hopefully we have a full house next week. We'll do this again. We have our show on the weekend, so I guess we'll be talking about whatever football is going on this weekend. Arsenal, so I can't even talk about them. So maybe I hope they can laugh at us.
I'm going to bring back the tactics truck going on Saturday.
Tactics truck. There you go, people. So the tactics truck will be on one because Leeds will be playing on Friday. So there you go. So we get to hear a little bit about that, and yeah, we'll see you guys next time. I think you have a show on Wednesday.
Oh yeah. I'm probably gonna be doing a show on Wednesday. Yeah. So I
Okay.
did one last night to catch up one miss. But yeah, it'll be more the same festivities that you usually get on the Full Nelson podcast. Yeah. The state of the art graphics, no, not state of the art, just shove up photos and stuff of things that make me laugh. But yeah, so yeah, that'd be cool if you want to join us.
And Love Leads, that also has a show this week.
Possibly, I haven't decided that yet.
You don't know if you want to talk about your team that you love. That's what you said.
External fact.
You said you love
external factors.
Yeah.
So factors.
Oh, so Leeds Arsenal plays the day before Alonso's birthday. So hopefully they give you a good birthday present, man. Hopefully they do. So yeah, we'll do this again. We'll see you guys. I should be back on Thursday, and then Saturday, and then Sunday. You know where to find me. So Arsenal Fan Circle on Thursday. I'll be on my own channel on Saturday. Sunday, Arsenal Fan Circle most likely, and then my show on Monday. And I need to try to get on and hang out with Mr. Tom when he's doing his show. So that would be cool.
I don't know if you saw, Gary, you shot up the table of our predictions table.
No, I saw that.
It was like you were last, and then all of a sudden you weren't last.
I saw like right in the middle there, around 50%.
Yeah.
So
I was shocked. When I was working it out, I was like, hang on a minute. When I was doing the maths on it, I was like, hang on a minute. Gary's score's quite high. It's two concurrent competitions. It's the actual amount you get right and the percentage of, because obviously different people have joined at different points. So it was the fairest way to do it, was like the percentage of how many you actually have played it. But Gary shot into, I think it's 4th place. Could be wrong.
There you go. So yeah, so check that out. And before I let you guys go, I'll give you a little quick outro. And like I said, we'll be back. We'll be back next week. And life is a journey. Don't waste a trip. Enjoy the ride, everyone. And we'll see you.
Life is a journey.